about 50 different languages represented, over 75 countries, and like I mentioned, thousands and thousands of children's books. Most of them are award-winning. Specifically, they've been nominated by the International Board on Books for Young People for the Hans Christian Andersen Award, which is considered the Little Nobel Prize. So thanks to the robust community at CMU, all of these books that are on our shelves, we can bring them to you. We have this year books and readers represented from, I believe, about 21 countries around the globe. When you look at a map that is colored in fire up maroon, it is quite a bit of the world that we have covered with our readers. So it's a wonderful way of showcasing not only the books that the Clarke has, but also the rich language diversity that's here at CMU. And every single reader is a CMU affiliated volunteer. We're often asked by people who are members of the community if they'd like to read, and we really do like to showcase it as a CMU event. It is a great thing to see all of the rich diversity in languages that exist here. And it's not just native speakers, there are also quite a few language learners who do this. So you will see tonight in some of the videos, students who didn't know the language before they came to CMU and they've learned it here. Some of our Japanese, French, German, Spanish students. And you also see native speakers who were born into the language and happen to find themselves at this point in their life in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And it just happens that we happen to have a book in their language. So tonight, for the videos, as I mentioned, we have made most of them available online through a website. That website, there's a shortened link there. It went live today. There are currently 22 of the 35 or so videos that are available, but you can see them all there in their entirety. Tonight, there are only 1 or 2 videos that you will see in their entirety. Some of them are up to 20 minutes long because of the selection that was chosen. So this evening, we will showcase some of these to you as short videos. So with that, we are going this evening to watch about a 20-minute video of some of the languages and get an idea of what's going on. We will then take a quick break to discuss what these books mean to us as people, what they mean to us here at CMU, what they mean to the entire world. And then we will continue with another video of some more clips. So hopefully you all enjoy it. And without any more, we are going to start our first set of readers.
This is May.
Hi, my name is Christy Brooks.
Hello, my name is Elena Maria.
My name is Nukarada.
My name is Clarke.
Hi, my name is Yannick.
My name is Caitlin Mack.
My name is Isabella.
And I am the president of Empowered Latino Union here on campus. I am also a MAC Distinction Scholar and a member of LAS.
And I am a faculty at the School of Engineering and Technology at Central Michigan University.
I'm a clinical supervisor at the audiology doctoral program at Central Michigan University.
And I'm a faculty in the psychology department.
I'm from Brazil.
Hi, I'm Jillian. I'm from Scotland and I am reading from a first edition of Treasury.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Carell. I am a sophomore here at Central Michigan University. I am also part of the Empowered Latino Union here on campus and serving as their vice president this semester. I will be reading the book Santiago, written by Federico Garcia Lorca, and illustrations are done by Javier Zabala.
Hello, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ben.
And today we'll be reading you a Japanese folktale called Shitakiri Suzume.
Or The Tongue-Cut Sparrow.
I will be reading it to you in Japanese.
And I'll be reading it in English.
Hi, my name's Juliet.
Hi, my name is Mara.
Hi, my name is Alex.
I'm Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Justin.
Hello, my name is Jason.
Hello, my name is Clint.
And
we're in Japanese 202. We're going to be reading Oshaberi na Tamagoyaki.
Hello, my name is Sarang, an international student from Korea, currently studying at CMU. Today I'm gonna read a book called 거울 옷을 입은 아이들. This book is about episode of three girls that wearing different masks, different from their true selves.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Henning. I'm a German major here at CMU, and I will be reading you Lieber Schneemann, wohin willst du? Which is a story about a little snowman who just really wants to see flowers, and he'll do anything he can to find some beautiful flowers.
Today I will be reading the English translation of The Last Giants by Francois Ploss.
Today I'm going to be reading a passage from the book Les Derniers Géants by Francois Ploss. This is a story about a scientist who goes off to discover the land of the giants and eventually finds it.
Hi, I am Qingyi Jin Chen, a faculty of mathematics at CMU. Today I'm going to read in Mandarin Chinese the story Nightingale by Hans Christian Andersen. The story is translated by a well-known Taiwanese author in children's literature. He was known by children as Grandpa Lin Liang. The book I'm reading from is illustrated by Igor Olenikov. It is printed beautifully, especially for beginning readers. You can see special phonic characters printed next to every single word. Children in Taiwan learn and practice these phonic sounds, also known as zhuyin, as children do haggerty here in the United States. Following the phonic characters zhuyin, you can read all words precisely with correct intonation. By doing so, you will be able to put together and understand the exact meanings of phrases and sentences. Now, here is Andersen's Nightingale, who taught an ancient Chinese emperor that a nightingale needs to live freely in the woods so it can sing beautifully.
And the book that I'm going to read today is about a baby elephant who is trying to get out of school with the help of ladybugs. Bu okuyacağımız kitap bir yavru fil ile ilgili. Uğur böceklerini kullanarak okuldan o gün okula gitmemeye çalışıyor.
The book I'm reading today is called The Little Stone Line. This picture book doesn't have many words, but it shows a character of a human being. The little stone line has stood there for centuries, protecting the village, giving lights and comfort to children walking in the dark evenings, watching the passing of the four seasons throughout the years, seeing people coming and going, and everything happened. The little stone line knows that people will not remember it forever, but it remembers everyone and everything. It will always be there, protecting the village.
皇宫的大殿里安放了一个金色的架子，让夜莺站在上面唱。宫里所有的人都到齐了，夜莺唱得很动听，皇帝听得流下感动的眼泪。皇帝要把自己的金拖鞋赏赐给夜莺，让夜莺挂在脖子上。夜莺说：“皇帝眼角的眼泪已经是最好的赏赐，不敢再要金拖鞋。”为了报答皇帝的赏赐，夜莺另外又唱了一首歌给皇帝听。夜莺在皇宫住下来，有自己的金笼子，而且日夜都可以飞出去散散心。散心的时候有仆人跟着，夜莺的脚上绑着一根丝线，丝线的另一头就抓在仆人手里。这种像放风筝似的空中飞行使夜莺觉得很不自由。
Parte 1. Esta noche ha pasado Santiago, su camino de luz en el cielo. Lo comentan los niños jugando, con el agua de un cauce sereno. ¿Dónde va el peregrino celeste? Por el claro, infinito sendero. Va a la aurora que brilla en el fondo, en caballo blanco como el hielo. Niños, chicos, cantad en el prado, horadando con risas al viento. Dice un hombre que ha visto a Santiago, en tropel con 200 guerreros. Iban todos cubiertos de luces, con guirnaldas de verdes luceros, y en caballo que monta Santiago. Era un astro de brillos intensos. Dice el hombre que cuenta la historia, que en la noche dormida se oyeron tremolar plateado de alas, que en sus ondas llevóse el silencio. ¿Qué sería que el río parrose? Eran ángeles los caballeros, niños, chicos, cantad en el prado, horadando con risas al viento. Es la noche de luna menguante. Escuchad, que se siente en el cielo que los grillos refuerzan sus cuerdas, y dan voces los perros vegueros. Madre abuela, ¿cuál es el camino? Madre abuela, que yo no lo veo. Mira bien y verás una cinta de polvillo harinoso y espeso, un borón que parece de plata o de nácar. ¿Lo ves? Ya lo veo. Madre abuela, ¿dónde está Santiago? Por allí marcha con su cortejo, la cabeza llena de plumajes y de perlas muy finas al cuerpo, con la luna rendida a sus plantas, con el sol escondido en el pecho. Esta noche en la vega se escuchan los relatos brumosos del cuento. Niños chicos, cantad en el prado, horadando con risas al viento.
Les poires de cet arbre lui avaient valu de nombreux prix au concours agricole de la région, et des millionnaires avaient offert d'acheter très cher la récolte. Que ferais-je de tout cet argent, pensait M. Racine. Les poires sont à moi, je les aime, je les mange. Elles ne sont à vendre ni en gros ni au détail. M. Racine était un homme heureux. Mais un matin, elle là, trois fois elle là. Il s'aperçut que toutes ses poires avaient disparu. En menant son enquête dans l'enclos, il remarqua de curieuses empreintes que le voleur avait laissées derrière lui. Oui, des empreintes vraiment étranges. C'était comme si la terre avait été foulée par un gros pilon, plutôt que par des pieds. C'est renversant, véritable renversant, s'écria-t-il. Il n'y aurait qu'un jeune éléphant pour avoir laissé de telles traces. Une proie pendait immobile à une autre branche. Ah, il en reste une, dit Monsieur Racine. Le maraudeur viendra sûrement la chercher, et je lui donnerai alors sur place la punition qu'il mérite. Il alla chercher du fil, en attachant un bout à la proie dorée, et l'autre à la sonnette qui pendait à l'entrée de la ville. Puis il passa son vieil uniforme de cavalier et se sangla dans la cuirasse brisante. Face à la porte ouverte, il attendit tout le jour, son sabre sous la main, prêt à servir. Les heures s'écoulent et M. Racine s'endormit.
Era único, era amigo, era puro. Pedro era um menino excepcional. Fazia de tudo para ajudar a sua mãe e fazê-la feliz. Eles viviam numa casa pequena ao lado de uma enorme montanha cujo cimo não se podia ver. Desde que sua mãe ficara viúva, as coisas tinham ficado complicadas, mas Pedro, apesar de todas as dificuldades, crescia cheio de virtudes e bons sentimentos, dos quais sua mãe se orgulhava muito. Um dia aconteceu que o sofrimento bateu-lhe à porta. Sua mãe ficou doente, não falava, não comia e não abria os olhos na cama. Pedro não se deixou abater. Cuidava dos afazeres da casa, fazia a pouca comida que tinha e, apesar da terna idade, trabalhava arduamente para conseguir dinheiro e trazer um médico para atender e curar a sua amada mãe. Ele fazia de tudo o que podia e o que não podia,
Mesmo assim, a situação piorava, e como nada que fizesse surtir efeito, desesperado gritou: Fada benfazer, faça que minha mãe se cure. Não posso ficar sozinho no mundo. Mal pronunciar aquelas palavras, sua janela se abriu como que por encanto, e por ela passou a senhora mais ricamente vestida e bonita que Pedro havia visto.
ある国のある王様の話です。王様は毎朝朝ごはんを食べると挨拶の部屋へ出かけることになっていました。挨拶の部屋にはお城の人たちが王様に朝の挨拶をしようと待っているのです。王様が挨拶の部屋に着くとテレレテ、トロロと、プルルプ、ターン。ラッパが鳴りました。まず、はじめは大臣の挨拶です。王様、おはようございます。ご機嫌が良くて結構ですね。ああ、うん。次は、お城の兵隊の隊長。王様、おはようございます。兵隊たちはみんな元気でお城を守っております。ああ、うん。その次が勉強の先生。王様、おはようございます。今日もしっかり勉強して立派な王様になってください。ああ、うん。次はお医者さん。王様、おはようございます。頭が痛くはないですか？お腹の具合はいかがです？ああ、うん。王様は誰にもただ、ああ、うんと答えるだけです。歯医者さん、床屋さん、植木屋さん、お掃除のおばあさん、皆が順に挨拶するのを、ああ、うんと聞いているのでした。一番後はコックさんです。王様、おはようございます。晩のおかずは何にしましょうね。王様はそこで初めて言いました。卵焼きがいいな。目玉焼きにしてくれ。The story starts with the king getting up for breakfast in the morning and greeting the people of the castle. He goes to a greeting room with the trumpet signaling his arrival. Every aide in the castle bids him good morning, including the minister, captain, teacher, and doctor, among others. However, he responds to them all with an uninterested, "Ah, okay." Finally, the cook appears and asks what the king would like for his dinner. For the first time, he gives a different response, and it's that he wants tamagoyaki, which is an egg omelet.
朝の勉強が終わると王様の休み時間です。タララタ、トロロと、プルプ、タタタ。王様はやれやれと大きなあくびをそしてに分けてました。遊ぶのが一番の楽しいな。誰お城の中を一回りかけてくるか。王様はとっとたったと走り出しました。王様の部屋のそばから大臣部屋、お城の玄関、兵隊たちの部屋、おいしそうな匂いのする台所。
Uğur böceği bütün arkadaşlarını çağırmış. Fil onlara, annem gelmeden hemen üzerime konun demiş. Uğur böcekleri küçük filin üzerine konmuşlar. Üzerinde bir sürü kırmızı kırmızı benekleriyle küçük fil çok komik görünüyormuş doğrusu. O sırada annesi girmiş odaya kızgınlıkla. Ama küçük filin her yanında kırmızı lekeler görünce, "O da ne? Sen kızamık olmuşsun," diye üzüntüyle bağırmış. "Bugün okula gidemezsin. Hemen yatmalısın," demiş küçük file. İşte sonunda küçük filin isteği olmuş. Artık güzel güzel uyuyabilirmiş. Annesi odadan çıkınca uğur böcekleri file iyi uykular dileyip ormanda oynamak üzere uçup gitmişler. Küçük fil yatağına keyifle uzanmış, yorganını üzerine çekmiş, gözlerini kapamış. Ama sağa dönmüş, sola dönmüş, bir türlü uyuyamamış. Tekrar sağa dönmüş, tekrar sola dönmüş, yine uyuyamamış. Yastığını ters çevirmiş, yorganını düzeltmiş, yine uyuyamamış. Canı da iyice sıkılmaya başlamış. Ormandan okula giden arkadaşlarının neşeli sesleri geliyormuş. Ne ilginç şeyler öğreneceklermiş o gün derste kim bilir. Öğretmen küçük filin neden gelmediğini soracak, arkadaşları onu merak edecekmiş. Herkes onu hasta sanıp üzülecekmiş. Küçük fil okula giden neşeli kalabalığa katılmak istemiş. İstemiş ama o şimdi kızamıklı bir filmiş. Kızamık olan filler ne okula ne de arkadaşlarıyla oynamak için ormana gidebilirmiş. Üstelik daha sabahmış. Akşama kadar evde sıkılarak geçireceği ne kadar çok zaman varmış. Şimdi ne yapacakmış?
小石狮，我是小镇的守护神，我是小镇里唯一的石狮子，唯一的守护神。别看我的个子比猫还小，可我的年纪比镇里最老的人还要大许多。大家都很爱我，过年的时候也不会忘了我。走夜路的孩子看到我就会安心。老人家常摸着我的头叹气，想起了童年的时光。而我什么都记得，记得镇上所有的人，所有发生过的事儿。孩子们长大了就会离开，也许他们会把我忘记，可是我记得他们，想念他们。我不会忘记每一个人。我是小镇的石狮子。The end.
यह कहानी मोइना के बारे में है, जो एक प्राथमिक विद्यालय में प्रवेश करने वाली पहली लड़की थी। वह सबर जाति की थी और उनके लिए 2 वक्त की रोटी मिलना यही बहुत बहुत था। पर मोइना एक ऐसी लड़की थी जो हर बात पर सवाल करती थी। लेखिका को उसके सवालों का जवाब देना भी अच्छा लगता था, क्योंकि वह जानती थी कि मोइना पढ़ना लिखना चाहती है। आज मोइना 18 वर्ष की है और गांव के स्कूल में पढ़ाती है। वह सारे बच्चों को कहती है कि मुझसे सवाल पूछो, और वो उनको वो सारी बातें बताती है जो लेखिका उनको बताया करती थी, कि कैसे पृथ्वी गोल है, कैसे सारे मच्छरों को मार देना चाहिए और कैसे खाने से पहले हाथ धोना चाहिए। मोइना जैसे बहुत सारी लड़कियां हैं जो पढ़ना लिखना चाहती है, और लेखिका इसी बात को हमारे सामने रख रही है कि लड़कियों को भी पढ़ना लिखना का मौका मिलना चाहिए, ताकि वो अपना भविष्य खुद बना सकें। Its translation is, this story is about Moina, who is the first girl in village to go to the school. She belonged to the suburb community, who were satisfied in a very little that they had, but she questioned everything. The writer also loved to answer her questions because she knew Moina was a curious girl and she wanted to study. Moina is now 18, teaching in the community school and asking her students to question everything: why the earth is round, and why shouldn't there be mosquitoes, or why should we wash our hands before eating. There are many other girls like Moina who want to read and write but never get an opportunity. The writer wants to convey the very message that equal opportunities should be provided to every girl so that they can shape their future as they want.
It was the horror I had upon my mind of falling from the cross trees into that still green water beside the body of the coxswain. I clung with both my hands till my nails ached, and I shut my eyes as if to cover up the peril. Gradually, my mind came back again, my pulses quietened down to a more natural time, and I was once more in possession of myself. It was my first thought to pluck forth the dirk, but either it struck too hard or my nerve failed me, and I desisted with a violent shudder. Oddly enough, the very shudder did the business. The knife, in fact, had come the nearest in the world to missing me altogether. It held me by a mere pinch of skin, and this shudder tore away. The blood ran down the faster, to be sure, but I was my own master again, and only tacked to the mast by my coat and shirt. These last I broke through with a sudden jerk, and then regained the deck by the starboard shrouds. For nothing in the world would I have again ventured, shaken as I was, upon the overhanging port shrouds, from which Israel had so lately fallen. I went below, and did what I could for my wound. It pained me a good deal, but still bled freely, but it was neither deep nor dangerous, nor did it greatly gall me when I used my arm. Then I looked around me, and as the ship was now, in a sense, my own, I began to think of it from its last passenger, the dead man, O'Brien.
There once was a prince who wanted to marry a princess, but she had to be the real princess. The prince looked and looked. He met many princesses. Many, many princesses. Many, many, many princesses. But the prince sent all of them away. He did not think they were real princesses. One day there was a big storm. A princess knocked at the door. "Come in," said the king. "Come in," said the queen. Oh, what a drippy princess! Her hair was drippy. Her dress was drippy. Her shoes were drippy. But still, she said, she was a real princess. The queen said, "I will see. I will see if this is a real princess." And she went off to make
The end.
So that was the end of our first set of readings. And as we were doing that, I realized that when we talk about children's books, we have everything from picture books, board books for children, all the way up through young adult literature. And Treasure Island counts as young adult literature. So if you were expecting something with a little less adventure, let's say, sorry for Treasure Island to give you a start. So I think now we're going to take a moment and hear from Professor Christy Brooks, a professor of world languages here at Central Michigan University and a polyglot herself, who can tell us a little bit more about where these children's books, not just at the Clarke, but in general, fit into kind of the landscape of higher education, youth education, and the world that we live in.
Thanks, Brian. And what fun it is to watch all of that. It's the first time that I've seen them all collected there together, so that's kind of exciting. You know, in watching this, I have a child who's 6 years old, and in about, well, when we're done here tonight, I'll go upstairs and read to him. And we've done that since the week that we brought him home. And what strikes me as we gather here tonight in this virtual space is how reading children's books, and maybe I put the young adult stuff aside, although I do know I know colleagues who read to their children even as they get older, is that it's a communal experience. When I think about reading as a child, my mother and my younger sister and I sat by the bed, or my dad, and we read together. as a family, and that's precisely what I still do. And we don't read often in community anymore. It used to be an older practice. Lots of people have written about this, and there are religious communities that still do this too. But this is the time. It's a very close time, especially for kids who aren't yet reading or who are just learning how to read. And so it's a pretty rare experience, and one that I think, at least within the United States, is often fairly limited to that time period when we read together. So that's sort of what I was thinking initially. But I was struck by these books. There's a lot in common, and yet so much that sets them apart too. These books, all of them, and I suspect if we took a look at some of the other books on the shelves, have sort of different purposes, and sometimes they're a combination of things. The picture, or the book about the stone lion, there's very little text and mostly illustrations, and that to me highlighted the importance of art in many of these books. The book that I ended up reading is done by a guy who apparently is an illustrator for another one of the books in Mandarin. Ivan Alyenikov. And sometimes, the words matter very little and the art matters a lot, but I think about the delight that a child takes in seeing these images. So it's definitely visual for many of these books. It's pedagogical, teaching morality, or maybe aspirational stuff, like the book about the girl who asks questions. These are things that we want to see little girls doing in a society. It tells us about our histories and cultures. And, we can think of any numbers of ways that, I'm thinking of, not from tonight, but something like Paul Bunyan in the United States, and, sort of values that come from a certain time and place. Sometimes it's also sheer delight. Silly sounds put together with silly words, where reading is about fun and just lots of from pictures to sounds to topics, just being silly. I read one as a child called Pickle Juice, and it was about this world filled with pickle juice and how people would just drink it. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, and then also, one of the things that I think is maybe less tangible in what we saw tonight, but that books serve as a sort of friend or as a company, either through their messages, or they represent that time that you spend with your mother or father or sister or brother reading together. And I can't imagine that that's different in other places. In fact, I know that it's not. So, I think we've seen all of those. And then just also this is sort of strange. I feel like I'm talking into a void here. The many pictures of animals and faraway places or times, nights, worlds that are no longer or don't exist anymore, and call the readers or the listeners, or the audiences, which we don't often talk about with books, that call them in and elicit, grab their attention. And I know what it's like to have a child just sort of enraptured by a book. So I think those are some of sort of comments about what we saw tonight, I am also thinking of traditions around the world that celebrate reading, and that begins with kids. Thinking about the Christmas book flood in Iceland every year, where the sort of purpose is you read books, and everyone participates in this. Thinking about the drop of honey on the first book within Jewish traditions, a child's first book, so that reading becomes sweet and will mark a lifetime of reading. And there are many others of these inscriptions in books that are given to children. I still have ones from my grandmother, and there are things like, "I hope you enjoy your lifetime of reading," things like that. This is all the stuff that is part of reading books to children, reading books with children, children reading books, and sometimes adults reading children's books. I often joke that since I've had a child, my husband and I have amassed a small fortune of children's books that are mostly, we get them for him, but I have a feeling we'll be enjoying them for a long time. So I think that's it. Brian?
Sorry about that.
No,
Yeah, it's great. When you mentioned adults reading children's books, that's what this event is. Everybody,
Yeah.
well, we will see one reader who's a high school senior. So we have everybody from a high school senior to an emeritus professor participating in our event this year. But so we will see the high school senior a little bit later. But one of the students asked me, if you don't know, here at Central Michigan University, instead of a spring break, we're doing wellness days throughout the year as a way to give people just a day to relax. And students have been pretty well informed. You don't do anything on a wellness day. You take it for yourself and you enjoy it. And I had a couple students ask if they could come in and do their recordings on wellness days. And I said, because they thought we're not supposed to do anything on that day. And I said, what better way is there to lift your spirit than read a children's book for 15 minutes? So yes, you're right. That's what we do. Well, thank you very much. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Central Michigan University's Critical Engagements program, this year the question is, what does it mean to be human? And in talking with the members of Critical Engagements, which include Professor Brooks, these kids' books came up right away. It's just part of what we do. And when you see all of the languages that we are covering just here tonight, and this doesn't even touch, we only got 15 languages this year. This doesn't compare to the 50 that are in the stacks awaiting to be read. So thank you very much, Professor Brooks.
Yeah, what fun. Thank
you. So now we have one more video of books, readings to watch. And this one includes some more videos that are a little bit longer of some of the stories being read. So please enjoy part 2.
My name is Beth. I'm the Director of Internal Audit here at CMU. Today I'm reading the book Opa's Engel, and it is about a boy and his grandfather. So Opa's Engel. Großvater sollte gern. Sollte immer, wenn ich ihn besuchte. Jeden Morgen lief ich über den großen Platz zur Schule. In der Mitte stand eine große Engelstatue. Ich beachtete sie gar nicht. Ich hatte es eilig und mein Ransel war schwer, egal ob ich sie konnte. Ich verliebte mich, wurde Vater, baute ein Haus, kaufte ein Auto, wurde Großvater. Eigentlich war es schon, manchmal auch sonderbar. Ich hatte viel Glück. Großvater wurde müde und schloss die Augen. Ich ging leisen raus. Draußen war es noch hell und warm. Was für ein schöner Tag es war.
Hi guys, this is Xian Li. I am an international student from China.
And I'm Caitlin Ottoman.
Today I'm going to be reading a Chinese story about a caterpillar turning to a butterfly.
Here to read a translation of The House of Dreams by Yang Hongying.
The name of the book of the story is The Dream House. 毛毛虫一天天长大了，可它一天也没有停止过它的芳草梦。它已不再孤独，也不再忧伤，因为它在梦中得到了快乐。为了不受外界的干扰，完全生活在自己的梦中，毛毛虫决定给自己修一座做梦的房子。艰苦的劳动开始了。毛毛虫力气小，它搬不动砖头，也抬不动树枝，只有一点一点地吐出亮晶晶的丝来，绕在几棵草叶间，绕呀绕呀。毛毛虫昼夜不停地绕。毛毛虫终于为自己修起了一座白色的、透明的房子，但它已经累得没有一丝力气了。毛毛虫爬进透明的白房子里，慢慢地闭上了眼睛。我可以把那个美好的梦一直做下去了。草丛里的那些昆虫们，什么金龟子呀、七星瓢虫呀、蟋蟀呀，都知道毛毛虫在这座透明的房子里做梦，所以它们从旁边路过的时候，总是轻轻的、轻轻的，生怕惊醒了毛毛虫的梦。晚上，萤火虫从这座透明的房子上飞过的时候，也是轻轻的、轻轻的，生怕惊醒了毛毛虫的梦。过了些日子，金龟子和七星瓢虫从做梦的房子边经过，发现了里边的毛毛虫变了样子。金龟子小声地说：“瞧，它的背上长出了2只小翅膀。”七星瓢虫小声地说：“瞧，它已经不是毛毛虫了。”
Bit by bit, the little caterpillar grew up. She never did stop dreaming. No longer did she feel sad or lonely. Her dreams brought her happiness. My dream has made me much happier than ever before. I should find a way to stay in my dream forever so that I may always feel such joy, the caterpillar thought to herself. Ah, I know what I'll do. I'll build myself a house where I may dream all the time. Once having made up her mind, the caterpillar started to take action. It was too hard for a tiny bug like her to lift any brick or branch, so she built herself a house by spewing strands of thin, white, and delicate silk, wrapping it around and around a few grass leaves. The caterpillar worked days and nights non-stop. By the time the house was built, she was exhausted. Phew! Finally, it's time for me to carry on with my dream. Yawning, the caterpillar entered her newly built house and closed her tired eyes. During the day, the beetles, ladybugs, and crickets that passed by the little transparent white house noticed the sleeping caterpillar. Not wanting to wake the caterpillar from her lovely dream, these little creatures kept quiet around the house of silk. At night, when the fireflies flew past the transparent white house, they also kept very quiet. They too did not want to awake the caterpillar from her dream. A few days had passed before the bugs noticed that a change had taken place inside the transparent white house. Look! The caterpillar has grown wings, whispered the ladybug. Look! The caterpillar does not look like who she used to be anymore, the beetles murmured.
Hi, I am Izazul Haq Shobuj. I am from Bangladesh. চাঁদের আলোয় একটা পাতার উপর ছোট্ট একটা ডিম পড়ে আছে। রবিবার সকালে সূর্য উঠে তাপ দিল, তারপর ব্যাস সেই ডিম থেকে বেরিয়ে এলো একটা ছোট্ট আর ভীষণ ক্ষুধার্ত শুঁয়োপোকা। ও খাবার খুঁজতে লাগলো। সোমবার ও আস্তে আস্তে একটা আপেল খেয়ে ফেললো, কিন্তু তবু ওর ক্ষুধা মেটে না। মঙ্গলবার ও কুড়ে কুড়ে 2টো পেয়ার্স খেলো, কিন্তু তবু ওর ক্ষুধা মেটে না। বুধবার ও আস্তে আস্তে 3টে প্লাম খেয়ে ফেললো, কিন্তু তবুও ওর ক্ষুধা মেটে না। বৃহস্পতিবার ও একে একে 4টি স্ট্রবেরি খেলো, কিন্তু তবুও ওর ক্ষুধা মেটে না। শুক্রবার ও পরপর 5টা কমলা খেয়ে ফেললো, কিন্তু তবুও ওর ক্ষুধা মেটে না। শনিবার ও একে একে খেলো একটা চকলেট কেক, একটা কোন আইসক্রিম, একটু চাটনি, একটু সুইট চিজ, এক টুকরো সালামি, একটা ললিপপ, একটা চেরি পাই, একটা সসেজ, একটা কাপকেক ও এক টুকরো তরমুজ। ওই দিন রাতে ওর বেশ পেটে ব্যথা হলো। পরের দিনটা আবার রবিবার। শুয়োপোকাটা শুধু একটা তাজা সবুজ পাতা খেলো, তারপর ওর বেশ ভালো লাগলো। এরপর থেকে আর ও ক্ষুধার্ত হয়নি, এবং ও ছোট্ট একটা শুয়োপোকাও আর রইল না। ও হয়ে উঠল একটা বিরাট মোটা শুয়োপোকা। ও নিজের চারপাশ দিয়ে একটা গুটি তৈরি করলো, যেন ছোট্ট একটা ঘর। এর ভেতরে ও 2 সপ্তাহেরও বেশি থাকলো। তারপর ঠোকর দিয়ে তাতে একটা গর্ত করে বাইরে বেরিয়ে এলো। সে তখন একটা সুন্দর প্রজাপতি।
Well, hello. My name is Chris Kulavik, and I'm a professor of Spanish here at Central Michigan University. But I came here to read a story from a children's book, a story in Polish, as my native country is Poland. So the name of the story is Dokąd na zimę odchodzą lodziarze. It's about, the title is question, to where do the ice cream vendors go in the winter? I nagle w tej smutnej ciszy rozległo się rrr, rrr, rrr. To akurat zawarczał rozrusznik starego, rozklekotanego motoru brodatego roznosiciela lodów Rożka. Był to motodomek z blaszanym dachem, okienkami i małym czerwonym kominem. Tu lodziarz Rożek mieszkał, tu sprzedawał najróżniejsze lody. Lody. Ice cream. Rodzynkowe, waniliowe, kakaowe, truskawkowe, nugatowe, czereśniowe, melonowe, jabłkowe, porzeczkowe, śmietankowe, malinowe, czekoladowe, orzechowe, mandarynkowe, pomarańczowe. And then everything was just more and more quiet because winter was coming. And then all of a sudden we could hear the sound of rrrr. That's the sound of the motor of the ice cream vendor who has this little vending booth that's motorized. It's like a motorbike house, and sold his ice cream, all flavors, and that's where you heard the flavors. Started with rodzynkowe, which is raisins, and then you probably understood vaniliowe, vanilla, kakaowe, cocoa, not cocoa, it would be cocoa, like cocoa that's, chocolate, and then you have all of these flavors. I don't know if you heard nougat and melon, and what else? Mandarins, tangerines, mandarinkowe, czekoladowe, it's chocolate. Very nice and colorful here as a book.
My name is Nova Moore. I'm a sophomore on Central Michigan University's campus. I will be reading a book today called El Defo, and I will be reading Chapter 7. And Chapter 7 focuses on a girl who lost her hearing at a very young age and how TV without closed captionings is very hard to understand. So I hope you enjoy, and I got my little setup here, so let's go.
y cuando el vendaval los agrede sin piedad, endurecen sus ramas como rejas. Su tronco recobra entonces la solidez de su origen y el temporal se aleja, con lluvia de vencido. En la paz los árboles reviven, detectan con curiosidad sus diferencias, comparan sus follajes y dan la bienvenida a los pájaros, esos hermanos traviesos que les traen noticias de otros frondosos colegas. Por supuesto, están también las cigüeñas y las lechuzas de campanario, a las que poco les importan los árboles. Los miran desde lejos sin mayor interés, y los robles y los cipreses, los álamos y los ombúes buscan consuelo en sus viejas raíces. Los humanos en general se llevan bien con los árboles, con su sombra protectora, con su frescura. Se llevan bien, salvo los leñadores, que por oficio son los asesinos de los árboles y éstos les temen más que al rayo. Hay árboles que solo tienen ramas y hojas, pero hay otros que además tienen flores y frutos. Los quiero a todos, vestidos de follaje o desnudos de manzanas.
Non aveva ancora fatto molta strada che udì strani rumori. Si avvicinò con cautela. Povero vecchio drago, tutto solo, qual destino, si lamentava una voce. Chi cantava? Chi suonava? Mattia, tutto tremante, si disse che non doveva avere paura e, fattosi forza, continuò a salire. Infine giunse al castello. Tutti intorno si alzavano imponenti le vecchie mura. Di qua e di là si udiva sempre più forte una musica. Mattia avanzò piano piano. Di colpo si trovò davanti a un muro. Da dietro veniva la musica. Lento sporse la testa oltre l'angolo e lesto fece un balzo indietro. Un drago! Balbettò. La musica e il canto continuavano senza sosta, inquietanti là dietro l'angolo. Oibò, sempre solo me ne sto, si lamentava il drago. Mattia si fece coraggio e più piano che poteva scivolò di nuovo verso l'angolo. Non si accorse che all'improvviso il canto e la musica erano svaniti. Silenzio. Il drago aveva avvertito una presenza e quatto veniva dall'altra parte del muro intorno all'angolo. Un drago tutto solo deve sempre stare allerta. E patapum! Il drago e Mattia si scontrarono naso contro naso. Aiuto! Strillò il drago terrorizzato. Aiuto! Strillò Mattia terrorizzato.
다음날 아침 미나는 안방 침대에서 눈을 떴다. 처음엔 낯설어서 한참 두리번거렸다. 아빠는 참 출장 갔지? 엄마가 잠이 든 미나를 안방 침대로 옮긴 모양이었다. 너 왜 저녁도 안 먹고 잤어? 집안에 불이란 불은 다 켜놓고 텔레비전은 왜 또 그렇게 크게 틀어놔? 미나는 문득 어제 거울 속에 보았던 그림자가 떠올라 흠칫 몸을 떨었다. 무서워서 그렇지. 그러니까 밤에 어디 좀 가지 마. 미나는 어리광을 부리듯 엄마 팔에 매달렸다. 아이고 다시 젖이라도 주랴? 덩치는 말만 해가지고. 그나저나 선영이가 큰일이다. 머리를 세게 부딪혔는지 아직 못 깨어나고 있어. 미나는 커다란 바위 하나가 가슴에 들어 앉은 기분이었다. 그럼 어떻게 되는 건데? 위험한 상태는 아니라고 하니까 기다려봐야지. 선영이 엄마 참 운이 없어. 어려운 고비 넘기고 겨우 식구들이 모여 살게 되었는데 하나 남은 자식이 그런 사고를 당하고. 무슨 어려운 고비를 넘겨?
木の上で遊んでいたスズメが降りてきて、ばあさんの煮ておいた海苔を見つけて、みんな舐めてしまいました。
The sparrow came down from a high branch and found some washing starch that the old woman had left out. She licked it just a little, and because it was so delicious, she licked it again and again, and before she knew it, the starch was all gone.
これに気がついたばあさんはカンカンに腹を立てました。そして、このろくでなしスズメ、こしてくれるわと言うと、ハサミを取ってきて、スズメの舌をチョキンとちょん切ってしまいました。
When the woman found her starch completely gone, she cried out angrily, "Who is the one who has eaten up all of my washing starch?" The little sparrow replied, "I'm very sorry, old woman, but it was so delicious, and before I knew it, it was all gone. I'm so very sorry." The old woman was furious. "You good-for-nothing sparrow, I'll take care of you." And so saying, she grabbed some scissors, and with a snap, she cut out the sparrow's tongue.
スズメはチュンチュン鳴きながら山の方へ飛んでいきました。やがて小さが山から戻ってきました。けれども、スズメが迎えに出てきません。
The sparrow chirped in pain and then flew away into the mountains. When the old man came back from the mountains, his sparrow did not come to greet him.
I'm Maggie. I'm a first-year student here at CMU, and today I will be reading Schreimutter by Jutta Bauer. And this story is about a penguin whose mom yells at him and about the adventure that happens after that. So, let's begin. Heute Morgen hat meine Mutter so geschrien, dass ich auseinander geflogen bin. Mein Kopf flog in Weltall. Mein Körper flog ins Meer. Meine Flügel verirrten sich im Dschungel. Schreimutter hatte alles angesammelt und zusammengenäht. Nur die Füße hatten noch gefehlt. Entschuldigung, sagte Schreimutter. And then they lived happily ever after.
El final.
Fine.
And this is the end of the book. Thank you.
Ese es el fin.
All done.
The end.
The end.
That's the end of my ASL.
終わり。
The end.
So that is the end of the readings that we have pre-recorded for this evening. As we mentioned, all the videos in total are available to watch anytime through the Clarke Historical Library's website. The link is on the screen, and we have also posted it into the chat so that you can all access it anytime that you'd like. For those who seek to learn more about the books that we hold here, feel free to come into the Clarke anytime. All of these books are made to be looked at and read, whether you're a language learner or a native speaker, or you have relatives who live in another country and they happen to know a story and you just want to get a look at it for your own eyes. Do feel free to come in and work with the Clarke's materials. We encourage you to use them, and we are adding all the time. We're looking for more languages, more books in more languages, because it is a nice way to celebrate what we do here at CMU and the wonderful community we have who could support us. So thanks again to every single volunteer who made this possible, because without their language skills, we wouldn't be able to showcase all of these wonderful books. And I think with that, we have, if you would like to ask questions, you can put some questions in the chat, or otherwise Frank will put in a plug for next week's event. We definitely want to thank Professor Christy Brooks for being here, as well as everybody else in the World Languages Department who contributes to this. There's quite a few World Languages students involved in this effort. So.
There are indeed. This is Frank, and thank you all for joining us tonight. Next week, next Thursday at 7, we'll be talking about Aladdin Homes in Southeast Michigan. If you've never heard of Aladdin Homes, these were homes which you literally built in a day. They were kit homes shipped to you in a boxcar, a railroad boxcar. You took it to your building site and you built your house. It's a very interesting story, and I hope you join us. Thank you all again for being here tonight. And with that, I think we're going to end the presentation.
Thank you.